Matthew 15:32. When Jesus called his disciples to him and said, I feel compassion for the crowd because they have been with me now 3 days and have nothing left to eat. And I do not want them and I do not want to send them away hungry because they might faint from exhaustion on the way home. The disciples said to him, where are we to get enough bread in this isolated place to feed so large a crowd? Go back and read 15. We expound all this from last week. And Jesus asked them, how many loaves of bread do you have? They replied, 7 and a few small fish. He directed the crowd to sit down on the ground. And he took the 7 loaves of fish and the fish, and when he had given thanks, he broke them and started giving them to the disciples, and the disciples gave them to the people. And they all ate and were satisfied, and they gathered up 7 full baskets of the broken pieces that were left over. Among those who ate were 4,000 men, not counting women and children. Then Jesus sent the crowds away, got into the boat, and went into the district of Magadan. Now the Pharisees and Sadducees came up and testing Jesus to get something to use against him. Here we go. They asked him to show them a sign from heaven which would support his divine authority.
Oh, brother.
Here we go.
Again.
Here we go again.
Jesus had divine authority and demonstrated it all over Judea, which the Pharisees and the Sadducees witnessed.
Mm-hmm. They knew it.
However,
Mm-hmm.
none of that put them in a place to acknowledge him as Messiah because their hearts had waxed gross. They were dull of hearing. They had made the decision that Jesus is an carpenter from Nazareth and he is not anointed at all. See, they already made that decision. So, therefore, when they were testing Jesus, this test was to get something against Jesus because they already decided that Jesus was not Messiah. And so, therefore, they were going to come under the judgment of King Jesus. And that's what he's describing in verse 2. Go.
But he replied to them, when it is evening, you say, it will be fair weather, for the sky is red. And in the morning, it will be stormy today, and in the morning, it will be stormy today, for the sky is red and has a threatening look. You know how to interpret the appearance of the sky, but cannot interpret the signs of the times. An evil and moral, unfaithful generation craves a miraculous sign, but no sign will be given to it except the sign of the prophet Jonah. Then he left them and went away.
All right. So, as you can see, the sign of the prophet Jonah, Jesus talked about before, that Jesus would die. 3 days and nights he'd be in the heart of the earth. And as a result of his sacrifice, he would rise from the dead as King of Kings and Lord of Lords and be vindicated by Yahweh God and carry out judgment execution against the Pharisees and Sadducees for one overriding reason. What was that? They rejected the king. So the Pharisees and the Sadducees were in trouble. They really were. The reason they were in trouble is that their hearts had become dull of hearing to the place that they plotted the death of Jesus. As you're going to be continuing down here in the book of Matthew, you're going to see this discord between Jesus and the Pharisees and the Sadducees get more and more intense. It's going to get intense to the place that by chapter 23, you're going to see Jesus absolutely give the Pharisees and Sadducees a piece of his mind.